Hello and welcome to the Roughneck Minute, a Movies by Minute podcast where we're going over the movie Starship Troopers. I'm one of your hosts, Matthew.
And I'm your other host, Johann.
And we're at minute 49. This minute begins with a creepy smile from Carmen. And when does it end? Go ahead.
I don't think it's creepy because this is her smile. So creepy would mean that you're actually trying to be creepy. Like, you're trying to do something. This is just her smile. It's like when they say you have a resting face.
Mm-hmm.
It's an unfortunate thing when it's just their face. So it's like, should you really call it that? Because they can't control it. So it's the same thing with a smile. It's not a creepy smile because it's just her smile. It's perceived as creepy, yes, but she's not making it creepy at all. It's just her smile.
And this minute ends with Rico staring at a screen talking to someone.
Yep, and there's another sponsor at that one.
Yes, there is.
Yep. I'm not too fond of that sponsor. I don't know if I've spoken about it, but once it shows up, I'll definitely divulge into why.
A little bit, yeah, we did talk about it. But let's get into the minutes. So we find out who Xander is saying basically save the ship. It wasn't him. It was the creepy, smiley Carmen.
Yeah. One thing I know it's been brought up before is that weird hair that she has.
Yeah.
It's pulled tight everywhere else except the top. It's just weird. And I know we mentioned a little bit of the 90s influence on the fashion on some of these the costume designs and all that, especially the vests that the men wear, because that was a total 90s thing.
Yeah.
Because there were a Beastie Boys video where they wore vests, and that's the reason why I wore vests, is because the Beastie Boys had one.
I still got one of those vests, actually.
No, I still have them too.
I
still love those things. When I got rid of it, I regretted it. So I don't remember anything in the 90s with hair like that. Like, specifically like that.
The only thing I can think of is maybe like in the mid 2000s or something like that, where all the girls had stuff under their hair to make their back of the head look bigger. Not like kind of like a reverse beehive or something like that. And you had like infomercials about like, oh, put this thing under your scalp or on top of your scalp to make your hair look big. But that's
like the Amy Winehouse thing.
Yeah. Kind of like that, where like you had a big kind of hair thing, but you didn't have enough volume to actually make it that big. So you had to buy something from an infomercial.
Yeah. I remember they also sold them in malls and like those... those little stands in the middle.
Man, the early 2000s and 90s were weird.
Yeah, they were. There was such a clash of like new fashion coming through. And so it was just like quick fashion like every 6 months or so. And then it went away. There was nothing to define an era for a period of time other than rave pants.
You know what my favorite fashion of the mid 90s, or sorry, late 90s to 2000s was?
Celebrity leak porn videos?
Oh, kind of, because not really, because I still had like a really bad modem and I couldn't download them that fast.
Yeah, but that was the era for him.
That was the era. No, it was Justin Timberlake's denim suit that he wore for the VMAs.
The Canadian suit?
Yeah,
the Canadian tuxedo?
It was all denim and it looked gross.
Oh god, that thing was horrid.
And he had those like Wild Wild West glasses on or something like that everyone thought was going to be like huge because of that movie.
Oh, the tiny circular ones?
Yeah, I actually bought one. They were like $5 at the time.
I never associated with Wild Wild West. I always associated with anime like Hellsing.
Yeah. Or later on in 1999, The Matrix. But those were clip-ons, actually. They clipped onto his nose.
Oh, yeah. They're actually, like, believe it or not, those things are actually coming back.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, Oakley is making a set of them.
It's weird. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
But some of them they're added with a prescription. Like, so they're prescription clip-ons, but I've seen them. They're selling just regular clip-on shade whatevers, which I don't know. To me, it doesn't look good.
I'll say what's his face in Grandma's Boy says. How much do clothes cost in the Matrix?
No, because the only time I actually think those clip-ons are okay is you're some sort of anthropomorphic, like being.
Sure.
Kind of like Winston from Overwatch. He's got clip-ons.
Okay, yeah.
Like that looks perfectly fine because it wouldn't make any sense to have arms on it to try and go over the non-existent ears. So if you're like a reptile being, yeah, clip-ons, that would make sense.
You heard it here
Uh,
first, guys. Reptilians, these are glasses for you.
Yep. But you know what I mean? It's like if you have ears, that's kind of what the glasses are fashioned to be, and the clip-ons not so much.
Yeah.
Because if you've been wearing glasses like I have for over 20 years, just the amount of pressure that you've had on the bridge of your nose, like you just don't want it that's how you're going to keep the glasses on.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I've at times, sometimes lament having the glasses that I'm wearing just because the bridge of my nose will get a little bit sore and kind of like open up a, like, I don't know, not get sore, but have like this kind of soft spot where like if it goes
Yeah.
on there and it like hurts every single time.
Yeah, because I've worn glasses prior to Lens Crafters being the 1 hour service that they had. So these were like glass. And they had the little arm things that just put so much pressure because of the weight of the glass that was sitting on your nose, that like the idea of just having a clip on just like bugs me. Like, no, that doesn't seem practical. I don't think I'm ever going to try it.
Nah, neither do I.
Plus, I wear glasses pretty much when I wake up to when I go to sleep. So I don't want to try and adjust clip-ons the whole time. And if they fall, it's a whole other situation.
Yeah, same here, man.
It's just a fashion thing.
It really is. It's really weird, though. But let's get back to the movie. The scene changes from Carmen's smile, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
go ahead.
one of the things I noticed about the screen, it was immediately set to cruise mode after an emergency situation. Generally, you wouldn't immediately go into cruise mode.
No, you wouldn't. Like, but apparently she's just completely hands off now. Oh, we're safe. There's nothing else. Cruise mode.
Yeah, like you would want to make sure that you are in absolute clear of any other situation before you go into cruise mode.
Definitely. Again, it seems just like the whole entire safety situation with this, with no klaxons being on or anything like that. The safety situation on this ship is kind of just lax. Really lax.
Yeah, it's not like she has the lives of thousands of people on board in her hands, but that's cool. Going to cruise mode right after you saw one asteroid. It's not like there could be a second.
Mm-hmm. It's
So,
like it'd be like if a semi-trailer truck driver kind of veered off the road, almost hit someone, clipped them, and then like kept driving, put back on cruise control. We're good.
yeah. Or even if like there's you almost got into an accident, you don't immediately go into cruise mode.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that she should get out and get the asteroids license information or anything like that. But cruise mode is just kind of a weird thing to do after Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Like first off, your adrenaline's running, so you kind of want to make sure that you're in complete control before you hit and cruise. But like we said, she's a crazy pilot. She doesn't seem to be in full control of what she does at all times. So she leaves control up to automated system, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But we get a scene change and we see Rico in civvy clothes packing up his stuff.
Yep.
And right behind him is Ace as well, too, kind of looking a little disheveled about it, too. So
yeah. In the script, it actually does not have Ace here in the scene. So it seems like they added him in to make it seem, basically show off his disappointment in Johnny.
I like that, actually, because, I mean, he's been kind of an essential person in the movie or in Rico's kind of career as a soldier that, oh, my friend's going. He kind of looks a little sad, but not content, sad, but understanding that Rico wants to go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel a little bit bad for Ace at this point because Ace wanted to become a Sky Marshal, correct?
Well,
that was like his plan.
Well, that was Kitten's, idea for him. Oh, if he's just Sky Marshal, Ace wants to go career. He wants to be an officer. He wants to maybe be a colonel or a major, something high but not too high.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He says officers trading. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I guess the real disappointment is now that he has Johnny, he has that motivation to continue to go up, because it's not like he's in direct competition, but he knows this is a buddy that he can have moving all the way up. And seeing Johnny leave, I guess, is what makes him really disappointed in Johnny.
Yeah, like he figured, like in the last couple minutes as well too, the whole entire, hey, you need squad leader on your own. He's kind of a little bit disappointed in him as well too, because he knows that Johnny has potential to be a leader or a really good soldier, but kind of being wasted at this point because Johnny is wanting to go. And that's the thing too, in the last couple minutes he was being punished for getting Breckenridge killed, but they were wanting to keep him in the military, but he wants to leave.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Okay, so Diz comes up and she's gonna start basically making him trying to get him to second guess his decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the script here is different at this point. Let's see here. So Johnny says they're just gonna have to go on without him.
Yeah.
The script, it's really weird. I don't kind of get the emotion that Johnny has. So Diz's line is the same. It says, "It stinks you going."
Mm-hmm.
And then Johnny says, "I don't stay where I'm not wanted."
Yeah, but that's the thing. He is wanted, though. Like, they did the administrative punishment to keep him.
Yeah, and then he signs his papers that he wants to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then Diz says, "If they didn't want you, they would have kicked you out."
That's true.
And then Johnny says, "Hey, they humiliated me in front of everyone. I'm supposed to take it, huh? Well, I'm not gonna. And I guess that proves I just can't cut it."
Well, it's kind of different because it's Dizzy who says, well, that, you're only proving one thing, Rico. And he was like, well, what's that? That you don't got what it takes to be a citizen.
Yeah, the reason why it's weird on the script is because the movie, he second guesses himself.
Yeah.
And that's why he chooses to leave, is because I made a decision that killed someone, and that weighs heavy on his conscience. This one, in the script, it's like he's just embarrassed.
Yeah. Like, I get it, you're embarrassed, and, well, I mean, that's the thing, too. His dad it kind of goes back to what his dad said about him wanting to take 10 lashes in public square than to see him in the military. It does seem like a demeaning thing, so in the script, he could be very, very, it could be a very embarrassing thing to get whipped.
Yeah. But that's kind of the weird thing, is that is the normal punishment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, oh, for Johnny, we're going to do this one. So it should, in a way, it should be something that you're kind of accustomed to.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm not saying like you should be used to being whipped because you've seen it around. It's just that it's happened before, so it shouldn't be. I guess like he's taking it really hard in the script for being whipped in front of everybody.
It is, but
But that's where I think it's a little bit weird, is why is he taking it so hard that he would quit, when it's kind of like that decision to take this punishment by him.
Well, I think it's probably a social stigma in this world that, hey, getting whipped is probably one of the worst punishments there is, besides, a death penalty or something like that. Yeah,
but the death penalty they televise.
Yeah. I mean, they may televise like public whippings as well too. I mean, but in this sense, it was a military tribunal kind of thing instead of a public thing. So the military takes care of their own. It's kind of the same thing in the book. How in the book there was a guy who AWOL'd and then went and killed a little girl. The military takes over his trial and his execution because the MI takes care of their own, even if they've done bad. And they didn't want the public courts to take care of him. They were like, no, this is ours. He's ours. He's our responsibility. So,
yeah. Well, they do that today anyways.
Yeah.
So it basically like who has jurisdiction doesn't change in this universe versus ours.
Well, he was like dishonorably discharged and everything too, but even still, because he did all this, he was still an MI. He's MI until he dies, basically.
Yeah. Well,
In that way.
um, hmm, I guess.
It's a weird, yeah,
Well,
it's a weird thing because
I think that is, yeah, I think that is weird because if he were tried in a like a regular court system, maybe he'd be charged with like involuntary manslaughter
oh no,
or endangerment.
oh, you mean Rico?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. It'd be involuntary manslaughter.
yeah. So, I don't know.
Well, anyway, so Rico, kind of has made up his mind. Dizzy or anyone can't change his mind, and we get Corporal Bronski coming up, telling him that, "Hey, you're Rico. Your call's going out. Take it over there."
Yeah,
And we see he's apparently not going to take it at his bunk, where he probably could take it at his bunk, but he takes it at the billet, I guess, billet screen communications thing. I like this little scene because it has a bunch of little pictures along the wall of other things. And we actually both noticed one thing on the left-hand side, what looks to be a Magic the Gathering card, but it's not really because it doesn't have certain things on a Magic card.
yeah. But there's the thing that makes me think it's like some sort of trading card game is there's two of them.
Yeah.
So one of them is a ship. So maybe you draw a ship card or something where you can deploy troops and movement.
Ooh.
And then the bottom one is like the trooper that you could possibly have in your group, like kind of like your summon. So one is a transport that you need. The other one is a the soldier that you have in that transport sort of thing.
I like this idea of Magic continuing on in this universe.
Yeah,
And getting
now
new
it's-
expansions.
yeah. And to the right, there's like some sort of manga.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Like one of them looks like it should be the Marauder.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of like little other drawings on there too. There's actually two drawings on the left-hand side that are exactly the same, but they're just like laminated.
Yeah. And then to the right, there's a shark magnet.
But we see who. Oh, actually, one thing I did notice as well too. The screen that he's on, the little control panel, is pretty much the blown up version of the one on his rack.
Yeah.
And instead of a mini disc or a mini CD, it's a full size CD.
Yeah. I think this one, because on the script, this particular one, this one's actually labeled as a view phone.
Oh.
So I think this one is specifically for transmissions. That's why he has to go to this one versus his bunk.
Gotcha.
Because one thing I did notice about this world, there is no Wi-Fi.
Well, I mean, so there really isn't Wi-Fi. I don't think there would be Wi-Fi on a military installation anyway. You don't want stuff going out.
I mean that this screen here, the CRT, it's hardwired.
Oh, this isn't a CRT. This is a projected, rear projected.
Oh, is it? Because it looks like it's kind of curved on the top left and the bottom left.
A little bit, yeah, but they didn't. Making a CRT this size is really difficult. If you wanted to get back in the day, if you wanted to get any bigger than like 32 or 40 inches, you had to go back projected, which
That's
actually
what
gave
she
you.
said.
Ah.
The one thing I also noticed about this screen, because I think this entire, well, obviously, it's not like today where they can actually make the conversation just go through the TV and they just like do a two-way conversation.
Mm-hmm.
This is obviously a pre-recorded conversation he's having with someone.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because none of the displays back then would have been in a widescreen format.
No, they wouldn't. I got a question about this though. So he's connecting this call with who we're going to see in a few seconds, but there doesn't look like there's any camera. I mean, unless that little spot in the middle that has that like little blue dot in it is the camera. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking as well. But then the level would have been weird.
Yeah, he's just looking up. I mean, whenever you have like when I do my Twitch streaming, I don't have my camera below my chin because you'll see all my double chins and everything. I have it above me to give me some MySpace angles.
Yeah, well, also, but it's also weird if the angle's always underneath and you see more no's than necessary.
Yeah, and but that's the thing too. I mean, whenever you're looking at the screen, because you'd be looking at the screen, you'd have to you yourself would look to the person that you're calling as if you're looking up a little more than usual, so you're not looking at them directly in the screen.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
That's why I think they pre-recorded this conversation, and so he's just trying to keep eye level with whoever he's speaking to.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing that made me think of it. None of the shots that he's talking to the parents are in the parents' home.
Are you sure? Well, let's actually go ahead. Let's actually hold on to that for just 1 second, because we get to see who he's using, what's using the global communications on this one, what FedNet actually uses. It is your favorite company in the world.
Yeah, it's AT&T.
It's AT&T.
No, what I mean is there's no shot of Johnny on the screen.
Oh, you mean like there's no shot of, like
the parents standing in the house or anything like that.
Yeah, like there's no. Well, I think it'd be hard because when she in like at what is it 48:53, she actually says, "Hey, Bill, pick it up. It's Johnny." So I mean they're probably on two different phones as well too.
No, what I mean is when they were done renting the house for the where Johnny storms out, they probably filmed this right there so they didn't have to come back to it.
Ah, okay.
And then if they had to make any changes, they couldn't.
True.
Because it was already pre-filmed. So Johnny or Casper literally had to work off what was pre-recorded and kind of had that feeling like, okay, this is it. We got to get one that works with what this screen is going with. So he could only work with a recording the entire time.
Well, I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, it's like a one-sided thing, or like if I remember seeing a video recently of the whole entire trick of talking to yourself on film and how like Back to the Future did it and everything. It's not too hard, especially if you already have a recording on this. You just like learn, oh, I should say it like this at this point.
I guess, but it's just one of those that I was just thinking that you couldn't really change anything if anything changed in the tempo of the movie.
No, that's true. I mean, I mean, you can change it up slightly. Like, I mean, how, like, if you're playing Fallout 4, you only have a certain amount of, like words or phrases that you can use, but they all have to kind of, like, correspond with what the NPC is going to be saying, kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, we see who he's actually calling. He's calling his parents, his mother and his dad. His mom picks up and says, "Hey, Bill, pick it up. It's Johnny." So we know now that his dad's name is Bill Rico.
Yeah, and in the script she calls Johnny a little rat.
Oh, you little rat.
Yeah, I think it's like an endearing term for them.
Oh.
So she says, "You haven't called, you haven't written. It's been so lonely here without you."
It's been so lonely up here on the lunar surface without you.
So you're just gonna leave me here while you go to Floss in Paradise?
They've been saying your name on the radio all day, Corbin. I love Corbin's mom.
I should have had a robot give birth to you. I had to.
Corbin's mom is the best. Shout out to the Fifth Element. They are done with their movie, and gosh, you need to listen to that podcast because they go over it, and they go over it so well.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Corbin's mom is so funny. It's just so funny that the mom turns out to be Jewish, like for no reason, but they went with it, and it just works out so well.
And it's easy to do too. I mean, like that kind of like that like weird Jewish mother accent too is so easy to do. Like even I can do it.
But the best part is the mom delivers like the stereotypical Jewish guilt.
Oh yeah.
So just like he can't tell her to stop because she's really laying it on him on reasons why she should have been valued better than what he did. So it's so funny. But so anyways, AT&T turns out to be a sponsor of this movie.
Yes, it does.
Yep. Yeah, very synonymous with horrible customer service.
And actually, it sounds like they're, or at least, so that's one of the things too. So Pacific Bell, I believe, it was what the original one was called, got split up into many different companies, and AT&T was one of those companies.
Yeah.
But they're kind of reformulating, yeah.
Yeah, same with Southwestern Bell
Hmm.
and SBC Global.
Yeah, so right now SBC is still with AT&T regardless. So it's like SBC ATT. When you have an AT&T account, you still get an SBC like email and whatnot.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed recently, because we just moved and there's like a cable company now, so it was Time Warner, Charter, but it's all Spectrum. So
Yeah.
they're trying really hard back to get back together and everything.
Yeah,
Um,
because they had to get split up to prevent a monopoly,
mhm.
and then they also had to share the lines that they owned with third parties like MCI at the time.
Oh gosh, I remember MCI.
And then MCI was they were paying 60 cents to the dollar for the usage of all the lines, and they had that huge scandal where they were cooking the books, and so they went bankrupt, owing Pacific Bell at the time, owing Pacific Bell a ton of money. So that's when that kind of opened the doors for all the companies to get reabsorbed again, and
Hmm.
now they're all under AT&T again.
Yep. And the way that we're looking right now, that doesn't look like it's going to be split up anytime soon.
Nope, looks like they reformed yet again.
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember when I was working for a different company, we got absorbed by Pacific Bell, and then we got absorbed by SBC Global, and then we got absorbed by AT&T, and it was just back to the way it was, just minus 10 years.
Same as it ever is. It's just keeps going back together.
Yep.
Um, so one thing I remember about one thing that kind of sticks in my head about like Mom Bell is what I like calling the company. But I remember one thing that really sticks out to me about that, not something bad, but it was a thrown away or a non-used script for a third Ghostbusters movie. Where
Oh, yeah.
did you hear about this?
I've heard many different ones, but there's always one that's thrown away.
Yeah, well, no, this one was they were going up against like a fallen angel, and the angel actually was the communications for New York. It was like I think called Nine Acts or something like that. But
Okay, I
because
haven't heard that one.
yeah, so like they were going up against like this kind of like fallen angel, but the fallen angel like its veins and its nerves and everything were actually used for the communication of all of New York, and they couldn't kill it or get rid of it without getting rid of the whole entire communication system of all of New York. And it sounded really cool because they'd have to go up against city people like they always do in every single movie again, which is a nice little thing because Walter Peck and the other dude, Environmental Protection Agency, you can't go up against the city, you can't go up against Ma Bell and everything, which would be kind of cool. Just like the angel itself is the name of the company, so
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just a cool. It always reminds me of that.
Yeah, the other third script I heard of is always it's the same one. They were trying to add a fifth Ghostbuster.
Yeah, well, they kind of do in the video game,
game.
yeah, but that was more of a they franchised out and everything, which is a cool idea. The video game is actually really fun if you ever
It
get a chance
actually
to
is.
play it.
No, I did play it on the Xbox. It was actually really fun.
Yeah,
There was no voice character, but it was supposed to be Seth Rogen,
mm-hmm.
and they just went with a unvoiced hero.
Generic brown-haired dude number one,
Yeah,
pretty much. But I mean, it is voiced by all the characters in there that were still alive at the time as well too. So
yeah.
I don't think I think you get a little bit of Harold Ramis a little bit because he wasn't deceased at that point. But I think it's just the three guys at that, and they do sound a little older.
Yeah.
But so one thing, let's get back to the movie a little bit. Rico's dad asks him one specific question, and it's kind of a funny question too. He's like, "Hey, where's your uniform?"
Yeah. So that one is in the script. That's like the first thing he says. Like, they didn't change it. And then Johnny's mom makes a face at him instead of actually saying his name.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah. And he just says, "Well, it's just good to hear from you."
Yeah, and that's where that minute ends. Actually,
Yeah. I know we've said it before, but the actor who plays the father
mm-hmm.
just made this guy a lot more caring than the script turned out to be.
Especially in the next minute too, we get like a nice, little fatherly thing as well too. I mean, Johnny's beaten down. He's done what a lot of other kids have done. He's run away from home to do his own thing, but he's calling his mother and dad back saying, "Hey, can I come back?" pretty much. And they're willing to accept him because, parental love is unconditional most of the time.
Yeah. So, I think that's all I have for this minute.
Well, I got nothing else either. Let's close it out then.
Alrighty.
Well, where can they find you, Johann?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitch at J-D26. You can also find me on Twitter on OMG It's Johann.
And you guys can find me Alt-Tab Matt pretty much anywhere, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram as well too. You can follow the show at The Roughneck Min on Twitter, MIN. You can go to our website, The Roughneck Minute Billet at podbean.com. You can also follow us on our Facebook group, The Roughneck Minute Billet, to continue the conversation and talk about crazy conspiracy theories about different Ghostbusters movies as well too. If you like the show, go ahead and subscribe, review us, and rate us on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. We're also on YouTube or any other podcatcher that you guys can find. But I've been one of your hosts, Matthew.
And I've been your other host, Johann.
And we'll see you on the Pound Strippers. Let me try that one more time. And we'll see you on the Pound Strippers.
No, you will keep in pounds.
No.
Like little cats. Like,
okay. We'll see you on the Pound Strippers. Kitten Smith.